God, not again.
Must go faster.
Hello ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher BM Hunter. Yes, that thing that is destroying in the arena, that is cutting people's heads off without even trying. That spec that everybody fears. Let's take a look at the BM Hunter and look how it plays, how you're going to be using your skills, abilities, gemming, reforging, and kind of rotation you guys are going to be using. I never was a big fan of BM. BM seemed kind of troll-faced to me. It was always like, you just press kill command and you win the day. But it's been added a little bit of complexity, as most of the Hunter specs actually have, via all their endgame talents, literally just adding more spells to the playbook, giving us lots of options and lots of pitfalls and possible successes in the talents we pick. So if you want to be rock and rolling your BM Hunter, let's take a look at it. Okay. Our specialization is BM. Obviously very pet-centric. A lot of our abilities revolve entirely around having a pet up and our pet kicking ass and taking names. So our new big main nuke is called Kill Command. It costs 40 focus. Give the command to kill, causing your pet to instantly deal a trivial amount of damage considering you asked your pet to kill something. But still, it's a nice amount of damage there overall. Your pet must be within 25 yards of the target to kill command. This is a very nice touch, is this range on kill command. Just making sure your pet doesn't have to be in melee range. BM Hunters always suffered with their pets changing targets, trying to get their main nuke ability off. With a 25 yard range, we're in good shape. Our mega filler is Cobra Shot. Just going to refresh our service thing. That's all it does. Nothing special with a really crappy amount of damage. Nothing mega. Arcane Shot, when we've got some nice extra focus, that will come before Cobra Shots. We like to use our Arcane Shots in the meantime. And of course, Bestial Wrath. 1 minute cooldown. Our big DPS cooldown. Send your pet into a rage, causing 20% additional damage for 10 seconds. The beast does not feel pity or remorse or fear and cannot be stopped unless killed. Yeah, so a 20% damage increase. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. We're going to talk about some other spells that you pick up along the way that aren't in that summary. We'll get to those soon enough. Okay, what talents are you going to pick up? As usual with the Hunter, the first 3 tiers have no effect on your DPS whatsoever. So you can in fact just pick whatever the hell you like. These are what I recommend pretty much for your 5-mans while you're gearing up and doing that kind of stuff. In a raid setting, there's only one I would really recommend, so let's go through this. Your first one is some sort of movement escape. You can't really root things in raids. The haste is always nice from post-haste after you disengage to get back into position. And of course, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera reduces the cooldown of that, and deterrence. So if you are soaking some ability and you need to deterrence it, all that kind of stuff, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera is always nice. It's going to be a choice between these two for whichever you want. Again, not much call for either Wyvern Sting or Binding Shot in most raid settings. That, of course, can differ depending on if you need to Wyvern Sting something and CC it. I prefer Silencing Shot, 20-second cooldown. People never interrupt in my dungeons. It drives me insane. Now I can. Oh, thank the Lord for having this for every single spec. I love Silencing Shot. Very important for me in my 5-mans while I'm rocking and rolling, making sure that spells that would otherwise cause unnecessary damage and so on and so forth get interrupted, and I'm in charge of that. I love that aspect of it. The next one is some sort of healing. You've got Spirit Bond, which is a gradual heal that will occur all the time. Can be nice in certain situations. Exhilaration, a huge heal on a 2-minute cooldown for if we need instantly topping up, we might die situations. And aspects of the Iron Hawk, which is a flat 15% damage reduction. I always prefer aspects of the Iron Hawk so far. I just think it's so important to have flat 15% damage. It's just so helpful for the raid overall. The amount of damage you have reduced over a raid-wide fight is immense. Absolutely immense. Really nice. Okay, your level 60 is some sort of DPS increase. Fervor tends not to be the choice we want. Fervor is not too terrible this time round as compared to, say, Survival, but it instantly restores 50 focus to you and your pet, an additional 50 focus over 10 seconds. This is quite nice for our little bursty phase. There is no doubt about that. For Super Burst, Fervor is really, really nice. There is no doubting that whatsoever. So if you do need to insta-kill something in your raid environment, it needs to die. Quite literally, it needs to be smashed in the teeth. It needs to have a train run into it. Fervor's going to be pretty nice just to make sure your pet absolutely destroys. The other two choices, which are the primary choices, overall, Dire Beast on a single target fight will be a DPS increase. Dire Beast is really nice. Not only is it giving you focus back, but it's also dealing some DPS. Very, very nice and fits in very well with our rotation. Very nice ability. So if you're doing some big raiding, Dire Beast tends to be the choice, unless you need to blow something up. If you need to be the nuclear BM Hunter, then further will be preferable. But overall, a DPS increase will come from Dire Beast for your standard boss fights. If you're doing a ton of AoE, Thrill of the Hunt. And as I'm going to be rolling in a 5-man for you guys, just to demonstrate different situations and different ways of coping with your BM Hunter, I'm going to take Thrill of the Hunt. You have a 30% chance when you fire a ranged attack that costs focus or kill command to reduce the focus cost of your next 3 arcane shots, and more importantly, your multi-shots by 20. Our AoE is not great, but I will get to that soon enough. The next one is some way of modifying our pets. As a BM Hunter, this is quite important. And the one that is the DPS increase is very much pet dependent and length of the fight dependent, okay? They're all pretty good. Blink Strike, Murder of Crows, and Lynx Rush are all pretty damn good, okay? You're not going to see much DPS difference. However, Murder of Crows, 2-minute cooldown. Lynx Rush, 1.5-minute cooldown. Blink Strike, 20-second cooldown, okay? Now, Blink Strike tends not to fall nicely with our rotation when we're actually playing, okay? We do kind of feel pigeonholed as a BM Hunter in our rotation. Blink Strike tends not to fall well, especially if you're rolling with Dire Beast as well. Now you've got a 30-second and a 20-second cooldown amongst everything else you're going to be dealing with. That's the only reason that Blink Strike tends to suffer a little bit. Now, Murder of Crows and Lynx Rush, it depends how many times you're going to get these abilities out during the fight. That is what it realistically comes down to, okay? With Lynx Rush having a 1.5-minute cooldown and Murder of Crows having 2-minute cooldown, it really just comes down to, can I fire off 3 Murder of Crows here? Is it a 6-minute fight? Or is it actually less than 6 minutes? Therefore, I would get an extra Lynx Rush in there. Therefore, Lynx Rush wins, okay? Do you see what I'm talking about? Very easy stuff, guys. How long is my boss fight? That's the one that's going to give you more DPS. So just bear that in mind. When it comes to your end shot talent, if you're raiding, Glaive Toss is the obvious winner for the BM Hunters. Glaive Toss is by default the champion. It wins above all the rest. Power Shot is slightly behind, ever so slightly. It needs a little bit of setting up, and it has a cast time again. As I said, we have a lot of instant casts of our BM Hunter. Therefore, we don't like things interrupting that. You can imagine a nightmare you would get in with Dire Beast on a 30-second cooldown, Blink Strike on a 20-second cooldown, and Power Shot with a 3-second cast, mixed into all these other abilities you see here. That would be an absolute terrible situation. A terrible situation to be in. Glaive Toss by default is the winner, as it fits nicely into what we're going to be doing. So this is the setup I would roll in a 5-man. If I was raiding, the changes I would make would be to take Dire Beast and possibly switch Lynx Rush and Murder of Crows depending on which boss I am doing. So pack your Tome of the Clear Minds, ballers. You want to pack those in there and you want to see exactly what you're needing. So look at the glyphs. Hunter glyphs are a little bit boring. Not going to lie to you, a little bit dull. You've got a couple of choices here. It tends to be always take Glyph of Mark for death. Your Arcane Shot, Chimera Shot, Kill Command and Explosive Shot abilities automatically apply Hunter's Mark. It's just one of those things you don't have to worry about anymore. And it's a nice flat DPS increase. Nice and passive. Spirit Bond, Animal Bond is just incredible. 10% extra healing to us and our pet, combined with aspects of the Iron Hawk. 50% less damage and 10% more healing. We're so sturdy. It takes some doing to kill a hunter, especially with Feigned Death and Deterrence all rolled in there. It takes some balls to really bring us down. It really does. It's going to take an absolute gangster to take us down. Glyph of Mending is always nice for the BM Hunter. I like this. I've run into several occasions where my pet has died, especially in the 5-mans. My pet does a lot of damage. Some tanks just can't keep up for whatever reason, and my pet starts taking aggro. Glyph of Mending just gives me a nice way of keeping him alive. Really, really nice. I like it. There are a few other glyphs that are primarily slight fillers and slight helpers, but in terms of what is going to be useful for you in a PvE environment when you're raiding, Glyph of Animal Bond, Glyph of Mark for Death are the bog standard. Nothing is going to really affect your DPS. You have got Glyph of Deterrence, always worth mentioning this one. Increase the damage reduction granted by Deterrence by 20%. Again, if you are doing some soaking, that is always helpful. Always helpful to get a Glyph of Deterrence and increase that damage by 20% if you are in that position where you need to help out your gangsters. Let's talk about reforging. Okay. We are going to be reforging to buff our pets, essentially, okay? First things first, we want to close your melee. You want your range tab open, okay? Range is what it's all about. you want to get your hit and expertise capped. I'm slightly below the expertise cap. That's just due to the level of gear I'm rolling in right now. Get your hit and expertise capped. You can be dodged now with your ranged attacks. New thing for Mr. Pandaria, you can be dodged. Get your expertise capped. Very much important. After that, agility is just godly. Get your agility up, and when it comes to your gemming, agility, agility, agility as much as humanly possible. What do we want next? Do we want crit, do we want haste, or do we want mastery? There is a simple way of doing this, guys. Mastery and crit are extremely close. Extremely close. Tends to favour mastery ever so slightly, but there isn't much in it. So you want to be reforging for as much mastery as you can, and just get rid of your haste. That's all you want to be thinking about, is get rid of your haste. It makes your reforging so easy. Get your hit and expertise capped, and if you see some haste, get that shit reforged off, guys. Get that shit reforged. But remember, you can see here using some PvP legs. If I see that I'm expertise lower, I was still going to get rid of my crit. Hit and expertise are that important. Get rid of the other primary stats. You want to be getting as much mastery and as much crit as you can after you are hit and expertise capped. Which one you go for doesn't make a huge bit of difference. It doesn't make a huge bit of difference whatsoever, okay? So pick and choose as you like. Let's talk about our rotation, guys. Okay, it gets a little bit tricky here, so stick with me. We have a lot of spells to be worried about. We have a lot of spells to be following on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 abilities that all have reasonable cooldowns, and then we've got Stampede on top of that, our big, heavy nuke. The other spell that we need to talk about is Focus Fire. This is an extra spell that is coming in for the BM Hunter. Also need to be aware of it. So we have a lot of DPS cooldowns with our Bestial Wrath, our Lynx Rush, our Glaive Toss, our Rapid Fire, and our readiness to reset them all and start this whole thing again. One of the trickiest parts about playing a Hunter right now is your pull. You have lots and lots of things to fire off as soon as possible. One thing I found while playing the BM Hunter, I've done a couple of instances on this guy, is there is a very large risk of Serpent Sting falling off because you have that many abilities that you're shooting in. So that's something you want to be aware of, refreshing it with Cobra Shot. Ideally, you don't want to be refreshing Serpent Sting with Serpent Sting. You want to get your Cobra Shots in there. Something to be very much aware of, okay, is to get that in there. When we go for our pull, pretty damn easy. We're going to go in. We're essentially going to fire off as much as possible straight away. So we're going to do our big cooldowns. Now, the way you organize your pull is the longer the cooldown, the quicker you want it to get off. So we want to fire off things like Lynx Rush, Stampede. Let's get in there. You need your pet attacking. Stampede. Go on. Get in there, pet. Oh, you're on passive. Go, 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 go. Lynx Rush. Get the Glaive Toss going. Then fire off your Bestial Wrath and your Rapid Fire. Get your kill command on. And then you want to start zerging abilities. You want to start spamming those arcane shots, arcane shots. Simplify your goals though, guys. The main thing you want to be doing as your BM Hunter is quite simply making sure kill command is always used whenever possible. And then try to refresh your Serpent Sting with that Cobra Shot. When it's all off cooldown and Bestial Wrath, etc. is run out, you're going to pop your readiness and you're going to do it all again. You're going to get another Lynx Rush in. You're going to use your Frenzy, Thriller Hunts. Go in and you want to spam, spam, spam your abilities. And this is going to give you a really, really good opener, okay? I'm trying to show you briefly how this is. In a perfect rotation, you're going to be a little bit focused at the start of your pull to get everything out there. The essential way of thinking about it, simplify how you think about this spec and the pull. Big cooldowns as soon as possible to get those numbers start ticking, okay? Get like Lynx Rush and your Stampede, get them ticking down and coming back off cooldown as soon as possible so you can use them as many times as possible. Really important. Your main goal, 1, is to keep kill command on cooldown. Keep your kill command on cooldown. Your kill command should never be up for more than a second if you're playing this right. Never more than a second. Pre-plan your focus around the idea. So just keep kill command on cooldown and get them nice big 71k crits on a non-debuff mob all the time. Make sure you're tracking things like Thrill of the Hunt if you're using them so you can see when they're up. You can see I've got Thrill of the Hunt showing for me there. Always nice. You want that ability and the kill commands on cooldown. Very nice stuff. Very easy. When it comes to AoE, you might think, oh, I just want to multi-shot away. Multi-shot away. The reason you want to be multi-shotting, as you can see, multi-shot on 4 targets is garbage damage. Well, that's actually only hitting 3, but it's still only hitting for 23k. What we're actually after is a new ability called Beast Cleave. You can see it there, Beast Cleave. What is Beast Cleave, Preacher Man? What is the Beast Cleave? Let's go into the spellbook. Let's show you some Beast Cleave. Beast Cleave, Beast Cleave, Beast Cleave. Where are you, Beast Cleave? Beast Cleave. There we go. Beast Cleave. After you multi-shot, your pet's melee attacks also strike all other nearby enemy targets for 30% as much for the next 4 seconds. Okay, so your pet is now cleaving for you. This was the answer to BM having terrible AoE. This was the answer that Blizzard gave out for us. You want to be using Beast Cleave. So a good hunter will be tracking this Beast Cleave. That is where the main source of damage comes from. If you're fighting two mobs, a very advanced play is to be weaving in multi-shots just to take advantage of Beast Cleave inside your normal rotation and just have that pet doing its natural cleave. If you want my recommendation, it's not really worth it for a BM hunter to start AoEing until you have 4+ mobs. The rest of it is just wasted damage. Multi-shot and Beast Cleave don't hit for a tremendous amount compared to your single target rotation. It's not bad. It's 13,000 for 4 hits there from the pet. It's not amazing, but it does help. It does mean our AoE isn't super terribly bad, which is what it was as a BM hunter. Our AoE was super terribly bad. It wasn't great at all. When it comes to people saying explosive trap, if you get a downtime in your rotation and it comes down to you can't press anything, then feel free to fire off an explosive trap. But explosive trap, again, is not amazing DPS for the BM hunters. It's worth throwing down when you can't cast anything else. Get that explosive trap down and get a little bit of extra damage. You can see with 5 ticks there, it's ticking for 2k. It's really quite weak. It's nothing spectacular whatsoever. So you want to be weaving in these multi-shots as much as possible to keep up Beast Cleave. That's the main source of your damage. Is really going to come from there. It's always going to come from the Beast Cleave. You can see if we look down here, Beast Cleave's there. Just for those few multi-shots has done 322,000 damage for me. So very nice source of damage. Alright, ballers, let's jump into 5 minutes and see how this all plays out. Alright.